What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Dapper, and today we're gonna talk about Modern Warfare. After playing the game for 2 full beta weekends, I think I have a pretty good idea about what they can improve, what they did really good, and what they did really wrong. Let's get straight into it, and let's start off with the pros. So the first thing that I really think that they really worked out great in this game is the map design. I know a lot of people have been complaining about there not being a 3-lane map system, but I feel like that changes up the pace of the game a lot. And without the minimap, because we're still not sure if they're gonna keep the minimap into the game, I think it's better to have a non-3-lane map system. Because if you would have a 3-lane map system without a minimap, it's gonna play exactly the same as every other Call of Duty title that there's out there. And that wasn't their point. Their point was to change up the entire franchise, as Treyarch was supposed to be doing with Black Ops 4, but that was just the same game as every other game. And I feel like with the map system that they implemented in this game, is gonna change a lot of the vibe that we're playing, a lot of the momentum that we're gonna have in the game itself. So that's something that I think they did really good. Another thing is the graphics and the engine that it runs on. It might be a little bit to the technical side of things, but I felt like the game ran really smooth even with high render graphics. I played it on PS4 and PC. On PlayStation, for just being 60 frames a second, it played really smooth. And to be that fluid on PlayStation, I mean, it's a big achievement for Call of Duty, because I remember playing Black Ops 4, World War II, Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare. I know I'm talking a couple of titles back now, but there's always been issues with having a game, especially Call of Duty game, running smooth on PlayStation 4. So with that being said, this game actually played way smoother than every other Call of Duty game that I have played before this. So I'm really happy they changed the engine and that they did the graphics the way they did. Another thing, the gun recoil patterns. There are no patterns, which is something that I really like. I really enjoy being able to have that realistic feel of the gun. It's even in the snipers, it's in the assault rifles, SMGs, everything. There is no steady recoil pattern. It's really about how good you can control your weapon, and that's really cool. That really implements the modern day warfare that they wanted to reflect off of that game, and I think that's a really cool thing that they've done. It feels way more realistic. And I know for a lot of people, I've seen it on Twitter, they say like, oh, it doesn't feel like Call of Duty, and that's so wrong. It does feel like Call of Duty. It's a different flow, but it's still a Call of Duty game, and you experience the Call of Duty feel when you play the game. So if you're reading all of these comments saying, oh, it doesn't feel like a Call of Duty game, it doesn't play like a Call of Duty game, don't listen to those people. Just don't. Those are people that want to stick to the 3-lane system, that want to stick to, those are the kind of people that are telling everybody like, oh, they're gonna make the same game again every year, why don't you come up with something different? And then they do something totally different, they suck at it, and then they're like, oh, why did you change that up, it was such a good game. No, those are those people, don't listen to them. The game actually feels like Call of Duty, but it just plays way smoother, and it's a couple of different mechanics, but if we had the same game again, I'm pretty sure the franchise would have died out in 2020. So I think that's a really good idea, that they didn't implement recoil patterns that are returning, but that is just random recoil every time that you shoot your gun. Another thing that's really cool, of course, the 20v20 modes. Really cool. It's basically the same modes, TDM, domination, all of those stuff, but 20v20. And you also have ground war, but we'll get into that in a second. But 20v20 modes is great for montages, great for snipers, for pop stompers. It's an insanely good game mode to get a lot of clips, and I think that's what they also want to get with this game. They don't only want to revive the franchise, but they want to revive the community with this game. And I think with the way the game runs and those game modes, is gonna make some really cool montages. So I can't wait to see those. Let me know if you want me to react to some montages that people have done on the beta already, and I'll do that for you, no problem. The biggest thing, that's the biggest pro of this game at the moment for me, is the gunsmith. And not only the gunsmith, but gunsmith in-game. You can change your class literally into a totally different class right in the middle of a game. So if you're playing TDM, playing domination, You're playing any game mode and you're like, oh, this class doesn't feel good, I should change that or that next game. You don't have to. You can do it right at the spot. You can literally change your class while you're in game. That's amazing. Something that I really, really like, and I've been using it all the time. Like, the attachment doesn't feel good, oh, swap it out, put on another. It changed the whole feel of the gun, but it plays so much better. It's amazing that they did that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think those are my top pros of the game. My top things that I really, really like. Let's get into the cons of the game, which are not too many, but they're the ones that are there are pretty big. Starting off with the biggest letdown of the game, in my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? This is not generally speaking, this is pure in my opinion, is Ground War. Ground War was totally not what I expected. It didn't play like I expected, and it might be because we only had one map in Ground War. If you didn't know this, Ground War in Modern Warfare is 32 versus 32. So that's 64 people. And they've made different maps to support that game mode. Now the thing is, especially on PlayStation, when you spawn in, because it's forced respawn, so there are flags that you can capture in your headquarters, and you can force spawn into the flags that you have captured as a team. If you spawn in on a spot where there's more than 5 people, the game drops dramatically in frames. It's insane. We couldn't handle it on PS4. I didn't have the issue on PC, but PlayStation definitely couldn't handle it. There were also some render problems, like when you spawn in and you're scoping with a sniper, you can see in the distance that literally half of the map is still rendering out. So, Ground War, pretty big letdown. People are playing it like Battlefield, you know, it has vehicles, which is really cool, it's a big map, but people, it's not Ground War, it's window war. It's literally window war. Everyone is camping in the buildings and sniping out of the windows. It was not fun for me to play at all, but that's just me. I know people that enjoy the shit out of it. I know people in Sword that have hit sick clips on Ground War. So it depends on your playstyle, I guess, but for me, this map in Ground War was not, it was enough for me. It definitely wasn't. But I'm not saying it's a bad game mode, I'm just saying I didn't like it. Second con, and I know I contradict myself in the first statement, but we got the minimap in the second weekend of the beta, and the game feels a little bit better with the minimap. I gotta be honest on this one. I like the feel without minimap because it makes the game more realistic, because in real life you also don't have a minimap to see where the fuck your teammates or your enemies are. But it made the game play better. It played better because when you have a minimap, people were camping their nuts off in this game because there wasn't a minimap in the first weekend. And in the second weekend, when the minimap was there, you could see that there was a lot less camping going on. People were still camping because, you know, people are always gonna be people, but it was way less than with the minimap than there was without a minimap. So I really like the fact that we had that minimap the second weekend, and I think if they're gonna leave it out, it's gonna be a con for me because I really enjoyed the feel of that minimap. And I know I've told this to people myself, it only takes 3 kills to get your personal raider, 4 kills for a UAV, and it's easy to get those kill streaks. Don't get me wrong, it's easy to get those kill streaks, but it's, I don't know, the minimap definitely helps. It definitely helps the play of the game. So not having a minimap is a con for me, and I really hope that they put the minimap into the full game. I really do. Another con for me, and I'm surprised because I really liked the idea at first, is the map design is made so that you almost have full freedom in the maps. You can literally get on top of almost everything. The thing is, that also grants another access point for campers. And this is also a little bit personal, because not knowing the maps as good as you do in other Call of Duty games, that causes you to die a lot to people that are on those high grounds. And those people don't know the map either. They just know that that spot is a good spot to be if someone runs around not knowing the map as well. So I really like that freedom, but in the beta on the maps that we had, it was basically only used for people camping with snipers or assault rifles. And there is definitely some work on the map design still to be done, because there are spots that you can literally go sit in a corner of the room and scope out through the window onto another spot that's nowhere to be seen from that spot. So if you are on that set spot and you look into the window, you won't see anyone there, but there is someone in the room in the corner sniping that spot. So the map design definitely needs some work, but it are all small things, you know. Put a barricade somewhere there, put an extra wall over there. I'm talking about this is, I know this is not like that easy to do, but it's small things, you know. It's not that they need to change entire maps, and definitely not go back to 3-lane system, but there is some work to be done on small portions of the maps. And the freedom idea in the maps is really good, but it just grants more access for camping, especially when the game is gonna be brand new. A lot of people haven't played a beta, they're just gonna look for those spots where they can be and level up fast, so that might be an issue. And once you get to know the maps, that's not gonna be an issue anymore, but it's gonna ruin the game for some people, at least. So that's also something that really did not work for me, but we can get used to it. So that's not really a con, it's like somewhere in the middle between pro and con, you know. So that's also something. Other than that, I'm gonna be playing honest with you guys. There's not much more to talk about Modern Warfare that was actually bad. Hit detection needed some fixes, definitely. I don't think I've seen a triple collat or a quad collat, so that definitely needs some work. But those are all small things, and I know that that's gonna be fixed when the full game comes out. So with that being said, I want to hear from you guys. That's why I called this video Let's Talk. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What do you think about Modern Warfare? If you played it, what do you think is really good? What do you think is really bad? I really want to know, because I want to get a perspective from other people than just complaining people on Twitter. So let me know in the comment section down below. What did you like? What did you dislike? Do you agree or disagree with me? Just put it down there and we'll have a discussion. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit late, but I did my best to get it out. And be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you never miss the second upload. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.